When you think of 70s TV, what shows pop into your head? Probably MASH, All in the Family, or The Mary Tyler Moore Show, right? And for good reason. They were massive hits that defined a generation. But what if I told you that's only half the story? What if the most interesting shows from that decade are the ones you've never even heard of? Beyond the familiar classics, there's a whole universe of forgotten shows. They were weird, they were risky, and they were often way ahead of their time. This is what I call the lost era of television. These shows weren't lost because they were bad. They were lost because they didn't fit into neat little boxes for reruns or streaming. Today, we're digging up these forgotten gems to see how they pushed boundaries. CHALLENG is social norms, and created characters that TV had never seen before. More importantly, we'll ask why they vanished and why they desperately need to be rediscovered. So, what exactly is a forgotten classic? These aren't just shows that flopped. Many were praised by critics and even had a decent following. But they often had short lifespans, weren't syndicated much, or were just too strange or controversial for later audiences. See, the 70s were a time of major transition. Censorship was loosening up, society was changing fast, and writers were finally starting to see TV as a place for real artistic risks. This led to a wave of experimental shows that were trying to grow up, maybe before the industry or the audience was fully ready. Let's start with one of the wildest examples. Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. On the surface, it looked like a typical soap opera. But in reality, it was a razor-sharp satire of American consumerism, media obsession, and suburban anxiety. It aired 5 nights a week, basically inventing serialization long before it became cool. The show dove into topics like mental health and violence with a surreal, bizarre tone that left people wondering if they should laugh or be deeply disturbed. That discomfort was the whole point. So why was it forgotten? It was just too weird. Too funny for a drama, too dark for a comedy, and way too critical of American life to become a cozy, nostalgic rerun. But you can see its DNA in everything from Desperate Housewives to Twin Peaks. Next up, The Rockford Files, a show that quietly reinvented the crime drama. The hero, Jim Rockford, wasn't some glamorous super detective. He was broke, he was tired, he was sarcastic, and honestly, he'd rather not get involved unless he really had to. This was a huge departure from the perfect moral heroes of the past. The show was all about character, dry wit, and a main guy who felt real, flawed, and completely burned out. Today, anti-heroes are everywhere, from Breaking Bad to True Detective. The Rockford Files helped lay that groundwork, proving that audiences could love a hero who wasn't so heroic. Yet, it's often overlooked in conversations about TV innovation. And then there was Maude. This was easily one of the boldest sitcoms of its time. It was centered on a loud, opinionated, middle-aged woman who tackled issues that other shows wouldn't touch. Feminism, aging, mental health, and even abortion, in a famous 2-part episode that was unheard of back then. Maude didn't wrap its social commentary in a safe, comfy blanket. It was confrontational. Its lead character was unapologetically abrasive, shattering the idea that women on TV had to be likable. Because it was so controversial, it became difficult to syndicate, and slowly, it faded from our collective memory. So, why did these groundbreaking shows disappear? A big part of it was just money. Shows that were hard to syndicate or needed to be watched in order just weren't as profitable. Another reason is cultural comfort. Over time, networks preferred to show us a cozy, idealized version of the past, not shows that reminded us of social tensions and uncomfortable truths. But when we lose these shows, we get a warped sense of TV history. It makes it seem like all the innovation we see in modern prestige TV just appeared out of nowhere. The truth is, these ideas were first attempted, bravely and sometimes clumsily, back in the 1970s. The lost era of 70s television proves that storytelling progress isn't a straight line. It's messy, it's experimental, and a lot of it gets forgotten. By rediscovering shows like Mary Hartman, The Rockford Files, and Maude, we get a much richer picture of how TV became the art form it is today. These forgotten classics aren't just relics. They were pioneers who took risks that paved the way for the shows we love now. They deserve a fresh look. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this trip into TV history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives. See you next time.